founder Laviska Shenault is still grinding. Now with the UFL's Birmingham Stallions, they won their opener 15-13, but the ex-Jacksonville playmaker didn't log a stat in Week 1. At your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, I'm Sam Nelson.
Right now, 71 degrees at 10:02. Time and 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Do you feel like the fans know who C-Rod is?
I feel like they do, but obviously never satisfied.
Yes,
so, we're going to keep working, keep getting better, keep grinding, and hopefully one day everybody know.
This is your captain speaking. Thank you for flying Teal Airlines. As we begin our descent to Jacksonville, we have sunny skies and a crisp 47 degrees. And Chris Rodriguez, welcome to Duval.
Taking on tacklers, Rodriguez, chiseling yardage, touchdown.
I mean, one of the toughest backs I've been around in terms of you hand him the football, you typically know you're going to get 4 yards. You're usually going to get an efficient run when Chris has got the ball in his hands.
Handoff here, it's Rodriguez again, slipping a tackle, and look at Rodriguez leapfrogging the defense.
Hungry runner, just a teammate, like a great teammate, always ready, didn't complain, wasn't a guy, politicking to get on the field with anybody's media or anything like that. And I think it's cool, too, now he gets to go with an offensive coordinator and a head coach that worked with him in college and obviously has a lot of belief in it.
Good run, Rodriguez, busting into the outside, chase down from behind.
Chris Rodriguez is, in fact, somebody that if you watch the tape, you understand very quickly exactly who he is as a football player, the superpowers that he taps into consistently. And, if you draw back to his time at Kentucky, it's remained a constant.
Once he gets a full head of steam going, not a ton of people want to tackle him in the open field.
This past year was his career year, 112 carries, 500 yards, 6 scores. Very different back than Travis Etienne. I would say a very different back than Bashal Tootin, and a very different back than LaQuint Allen.
Rodriguez is the running back. Up the middle, Rodriguez, touchdown!
Why Jacksonville? I think, it's an opportunity. I feel like it was going to be the best opportunity for me. I know Liam, and he knows me, and I know the type of standard he expects, and I feel like we can get that done.
Now, Jaguars Today on 1010XL with Mike Dempsey, Fat Tony, and RJ Saunders.
Hey, happy Monday, everybody. Jaguars Today back and at it again as we draw closer to the month of April. Tony, happy March 30th. We're almost there. It'll be draft month upon us.
Yeah.
We're inside 4 weeks.
Yeah, in a couple days, keep your head about you with the calendar flipping over to April.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So get it in your head now. It's coming in a couple days. There'll be a bunch of foolishness going on. You gotta look through all of it. Yeah.
No. Do people care that much about April Fool's Day?
I don't know. I feel like every day is April Fool's now.
Oh,
like
bro,
to some degree.
The truth, right? Like you can't trust any video. I just want to trust like a nice puppy video. Can I just trust, hey, look at what my newly adopted puppy did. That's AI. It probably is. Dang it. I can't tell anymore. But that's all right. I'll be getting out at the right time, Tone. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be long for this world.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not built for the marathon. I don't think. I'm a sprinter. I'm in the final stages. That's depressing. All right, welcome everybody. This day. There's really no new Jacksonville Jaguar news. Can we agree on that? But it is Mock Draft Monday, right?
Yeah.
And Chris Rodriguez is getting his moment in the sun. RJ is getting full use out of that open. By the way, excellent open that he put together for
cool
Chris
open,
Rodriguez. Introduce him to Jacksonville, and we have nobody else new to introduce. So
it's for about a month.
It's understandable to some degree. But dang, Tony, is today the day you kind of wish this was Jaguars Today and all the other sports, right? I mean, between Connecticut beating Duke on Braylon Mullins, I don't know, man. They're calling it a 35-footer, and maybe they measured it. That thing looks closer to 40 to me, but whatever the case may be.
Long way.
Long bomb, jumper, and it wasn't a heave. It was a jumper, to knock it down with under a second left. Does he have a moment in his life better than that? Man. I don't know. That doesn't mean you can have kids and you love your kids and the kids are more important and all these things. But just in terms of an individual moment of achievement, anything he does in his life, has he peaked as a freshman right now? That's quite possible that he has done that.
Benny the Jet in the Sandlot, right? Like he did the run, right? He did the whole thing, and the whole movie is showing him steal home. Like that's the culmination and like the big moment in the movie. It's like I don't think that's a bigger moment than when he outran that dog. Right, like, but
True.
At least he had a moment that kind of compares.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure if anything's going to compare to 40 feet to get to the Final Four. That's, oh my god,
that was nuts. 40, and Duke literally had possession with the clock rolling with 7 seconds left. Inbounds with 7 seconds left.
Yeah.
Just throw like a big hook shot down the court.
Yeah.
Throw it up in the rafters.
Throw it into the ceiling.
Something along those lines. So you had that. Right.
And that's the other side of that one. It's like how many hours of your life are now lost? If you're the kid who turns it over, it's like, I have to think about this every moment of every day.
How many times did that kid, though, who made the shot, Mullins, how many times did he watch it since then?
Right.
And I'm asking, what do you think the number is? How many times has he seen the video? Because if you did this 30 years ago, you'd have to sit up and watch SportsCenter over and over, and you'd still do it, right? And they'd play it 6 times. In the package.
Now it's just there.
How many times has that kid seen that shot already?
As many times as he wants.
Obviously, right?
Yeah.
And you're not going to just sit there and watch it over and over, but you would for a few minutes.
Yeah.
like, here's the overhead. Here's the this. Here's the that. 200? Is that a good estimate? I don't know. That's the number I came up with. He's watched it 200 times. He's seen himself make the shot now 200 times since yesterday.
Probably somewhere around that or north of it, yeah.
Maybe even higher.
Yeah.
It's possible, right? Because it's everywhere, right? Now, so you got that. You got Tiger Woods, that whole saga getting into on the other side. You got the ABS system just showing umpires up left and right in Major League Baseball. And these people now, the argument is now, there should be a buffer zone around the plate. There is. It's called the edge of the plate.
Yeah.
You build the buffer zone, then you're going to want a buffer zone. What about the one that misses by a millimeter outside the buffer zone? You're never going to be happy.
No.
Okay? If it hits the plate,
zone.
it's a strike.
Yeah.
It's that simple. But I've got a question to tie in the whole kind of weekend non-Jaguar stuff, right?
Sure.
And I will pose it to R.J. Saunders. Good morning, R.J. Saunders.
Morning.
Whose sweater are you repping in there?
The Mighty Ducks. They're mighty.
The quack quack. That's right. And you're a Marlins fan, we learned.
Right.
Might not have heard about that if they didn't start 3-0, Tony, but they did. So congratulations to you. I have a simple question for you. Who's the Iceman?
George Gervin.
Okay. Just making sure, because you're an NBA guy. I'm just making sure.
I was about to say, I don't even follow the NBA all that closely. Never have.
You know who
basically my entire life. But when I saw there was a headline that Caleb was trying to trademark that name, I was like, that's George Gervin.
That's
George
George
I don't
Gervin.
even know the NBA, and I knew that.
I just, and it's fine. I get it. Hacker, that was before I was born. It could have been 2 seconds before he was born, but Hacker had a mental block. I couldn't go back.
Yeah.
He has since gotten better about that, right? And I get it. There are things I'm sure that I was coming up I didn't know who Dizzy Dean was or whatever. You know what I mean? That maybe.
But it's one of those where the nickname is so awesome.
But Tony, it's beyond that. It's the glee. I don't know who that is, and I don't need to know who that is, and I follow the NBA, and I don't know. Do you really?
Yeah.
All right, fine. Anyway, no, maybe in Chicago they call Caleb Williams the Iceman, but people in Chicago, let's be honest, they're stupid. All right, so come on, he's not the freaking Iceman.
No.
George Gervin's the Iceman, and always will be the Iceman. And it's so ubiquitous. You don't need to trademark the name if you're George Gervin.
No,
I don't know anybody who doesn't reference the name Iceman when they talk about George Gervin. In my entirety of my life, I don't know if it's ever, not been brought up. Oh, you mean the Iceman? Yeah, of course.
when talking about sports,
We're talking about, right. Well, we're
Yeah.
talking specifically, if you're going to talk about, man, here's some smooth operators in the NBA, George the Iceman Gervin. You'd always say the Iceman or just the Iceman.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Anyway. So
I know there was that
Caleb Williams, new
that
Iceman.
famous. Would you call him a serial killer if he was just a hitman for hire? That got the nickname the Iceman.
Kuklinski,
Yeah,
right?
Kuklinski.
Yeah,
right?
see, I know
there's
my
that
serial
kind of thing.
killers.
But anytime you're talking sports, it's Gervin.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Why we are fascinated with serial killers is a whole other topic of discussion that we will not go far down the list on today or read at all. Today, we do have mock drafts. we're trying out a little new something today. We've been doing Pro Football Network mocks, and we've done one. We've each done one for Pro Football Network. I'm tired of seeing the same guys in the same areas without the proper amount of movement around, okay? Although it was interesting. So we decided, let's do one at PFF as well. Just knock it out, because you can only do one a day. And I don't know, maybe if you restart it, you can continue to restart it until you get the, some outcome you like. But once you've completed a mock, you can't go back and do another one, unless you subscribe to it. So I felt like, okay, we get one shot at it. Let's see how they compare side by side. So look at those. Matt Miller over to ESPN put in 7 rounds worth of projections on the NFL draft. So we'll take a look at his work as well from over the weekend. And today, with the owners' meetings this week, we're asking you this. Assuming the NFL approves the Jacksonville Jaguars to play their non-London home games in Orlando next year. Deep breath. I'm only halfway through the sentence. Okay, like the Jacksonville Jaguars to play their non-London home games in Orlando next year. How many games do you think you would attend at Camping World Stadium? Your options are as many as they play, at least 3, 1 or 2, or nah. I'm just going to wait for 2028. And we understand there's people who have already replied to this and say, hey, look, I don't go to games anyway. I'm out of state. I'm out of wherever.
Sure.
So it would be 0 either place, but that's fine. Just want to try to get a sense of how eager people are going to be to make the trip down to Orlando next year for the opportunities that they do have. All right, Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, RJ Saunders here with you. Stream us today on YouTube, on X, on Facebook. Hit us up on the socials at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, at R has no J. There he is, my man. But he does have a knowledge of the Iceman, the good Iceman. And also 641-1010. On the Key Buick GMC phone lines or on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. I believe we are ready to go. Jaguar talk straight ahead for the next 2 hours on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars
today
from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
I want you to promise me something. I want you to play life just like you played that game today. So when that final buzzer of life goes off, you'll have no regrets.
1010XL.
Alert! Termite swarms are active right now in Jacksonville, and once they get inside, damage can happen fast. Termites don't knock, they silently attack the structure of your home, leaving behind costly repairs and long-term headaches. Protect what you've worked hard for with the proven protection homeowners trust. Terminix with advanced termite treatment and prevention solutions. Visit Terminix.com and schedule your free termite inspection today.
Dreamfinders Homes Monday
on Jaguars Today.
Spring is in the air, and Aleve's long-lasting pain relief is here to keep you moving. The days are longer and the flowers are blooming. Whether it's gardening, yard work, or just spending more time outdoors, spring is a way of getting us moving despite any body pain. That's where Aleve can keep you going. With just 1 dose, Aleve gives you long-lasting body pain relief for up to 12 hours. From sunup to sundown, Aleve's got your back. Try Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
Get a healthy start in 2026. The Florida Department of Health in Duval County is here to help you get healthy and stay healthy all year long. Our dedicated team is committed to providing high-quality care and trusted public health services for our community. Our mission is simple: to protect, promote, and improve the health of you and your family. Learn more about our programs and services by visiting duval.floridahealth.gov.
If you've been searching for answers to your quarterback questions, he's the lighthouse to guide you home.
I'm Denny Thompson, and they call me the quarterback whisperer.
He shares his insights Friday mornings on The Drill. Wrapped up by George Moore Chevrolet on 1010XL.
Liberty Landscape Supply is sponsoring Whiteout Cancer Night with the Jacksonville Icemen, Friday, April 3rd. Wear your Iceman gear in store and grab free game tickets while supplies last. Bring your ticket back with any $25 purchase and get a free 1-gallon plant. Liberty Landscape Supply has been making outdoor projects simple in Jacksonville for nearly 20 years. Find one of the 4 area locations at libertylandscapesupply.com.
When your home or business deserves more than ordinary glass, you trust the experts. Capital Glass and Shower Doors has been elevating spaces for over 40 years with precision, craftsmanship, and clean, modern design. From sleek frameless shower enclosures to elegant glass railings, wine cabinets, and any custom glass that makes a statement, Capital Glass delivers unmatched quality, service, and attention to detail. Your vision, their expertise. Capital Glass and Shower Doors at capcoglass.com.
Want to show off that backyard flex? Purple Heart Pools, a veteran-owned pool company right here in Jacksonville, is offering a brand new custom pool and spa package for a flat $75,000. All in, no bait, no switch. You heard that right. Only $75,000 for a custom pool and spa. Now's the time to break ground. Game days, summer nights, and neighborhood envy included. Schedule a free consultation today at purpleheartpools.com. Purple Heart Pools, Jacksonville's veteran pool company.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal.
Stand back, Jason. I'm gonna
Sneeze? Yeah, I saw that coming.
It's all this spring pollen, Jason. It's outside and it's inside my house, and I just can't stop. I can't stop.
Sneezing? Okay, let me help you with that.
How can you help?
At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we can improve your indoor air quality with air purifiers, UV lights, and filtration systems. Every new system we install includes high-efficiency 4-inch filters that work better and last longer, even if you forget to change them.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Life can get pretty dusty sometimes. If you spend all day, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars today on 1010XL.
All right, Jaguars today. Holding pattern, basically where we're at right now, right? Do you anticipate the Jags will add a player who's not currently on their roster prior to the NFL draft?
No.
I don't think they will.
I don't anticipate that they will.
I mean, they could sign like a guy who doesn't count against the compensatory formula.
Yeah.
I think it'd be something like that. I don't think there's going to be anything like other. I mean, there's nobody out there you're going to spend big money on for this team anyway.
They shot the shot with Bobo. Right. And it made sense for all the reasons we talked about.
And it wouldn't have counted against the formula.
Yeah. Right, like that kind of thing. But there's not a whole lot of those kind of options even out there right now. You know, we talked about Calais on Friday a little bit, and I would love for them to be in on the Calais thing. But if it happens, it's going to be June, right, when it happens. So it's not something I think is going to happen between now and the draft. And I think the draft could still have a big impact on guys that are on the roster, whether or not they're in the 53. Right, when everything is said and done. Like, if they draft an offensive tackle that can be the swing, what can they get for Walker?
Right.
You know, like
right.
that.
I don't see them cutting Walker Little.
No, but what could they do in a trade if they found someone else that can kind of fill that spot for him on the roster? And at least they're flexible with some stuff.
At that point, do you just move him to get the money off your books to save some cap space and just say, oh, we'll take whatever for you paying the freight on Walker Little?
But a lot of that stuff's not going to happen until we get to and through the draft.
It goes both ways, though. Like, sometimes you sign a veteran placeholder, and then you're like, well, that way if we don't get him. And then other times you wait, and you say, well, nobody's going to grab this guy. And they did it, and we've mentioned it many times with Emmanuel Ogba last year. It didn't work out. He didn't have an impact.
Right.
But they had a plan in place. And, not every plan, by the way, is going to work 100%, even if it's executed by James Gladstone, Tony Baselli, and Liam Cohen. I know that is hard to believe out there, Tone. We're not going to – RJ, I'm sorry. You wanted to jump in with something.
Well, I'm sorry because I'm still kind of learning.
What are you learning?
The NFL here. I mean, just like the nooks and cranny of it all. Officially, like, when would we say is the second wave of free agents after the draft? That's what we're saying? Or, like, is the second wave, we're currently in the second wave?
I think to me, and it's all semantics, right? It doesn't really matter. Yeah. I think the second wave is like after the first week goes by. Like, the first week is the first wave when the big money guys are going after. Then you have the second wave where people look for a few bargains. Then you see what you see right now. Nobody's signing because it will impact. First of all, there's nobody out there you have to have. If you had to have him, you would have already signed him.
Yep.
Right? Now we're this close, like Tony just said. We're going to wait and see. what holes we plug. And I do think teams will have a prioritized list, and you'll see. I would imagine. I have to go back and look at the transaction wire, Tony. Jags signed Agba the next morning. That's Sunday morning. In that, let's say, 2 to 3 day period after the draft, Saturday night, Sunday, Monday, right? How many veteran free agents get scooped up?
Absolutely.
At that period of time. I bet it's a good bit,
Yeah.
right? Teams have that plan, their backup plan. And
there's a bunch of teams that have a bunch of players that they've probably already talked to, but whatever it is, they're already like, look, we'll check back with you.
Right.
Right. Like, and there's a bunch of that kind of stuff. But yeah, once the draft ends, everyone's like, all right, do it. They pull the trigger on all those ideas.
There's that, but there's also like that, whatever the cutoff is, RJ, it's usually in May, like when they stop, like you could sign, it's all about the size of the contract, right? So even though, let's use Tyreek Hill, because we know he's a free agent, okay? Tyreek Hill's out there. And maybe because he's a different exception because his contract didn't run out, right? Whatever. Player X is out there right now. Jags want to sign him. Doesn't matter what the timing is. It matters the size of the contract until you get to a certain point, which is usually in May. Once you get past that date, those players will not count against your compensatory formula. So you could theoretically go, nobody signed David Njoku, and we've cleared some cap space doing this and that and the other thing. Let's sign him for $15 million for 1 year. And it wouldn't, I don't anticipate that happening with the Jags. But so to me, it's like first week, second week, and then the next wave, the third wave, if you're going to call it, is somewhat immediately after the draft up until that compensatory window closes.
Just looked it up. April 28th is the date this year.
To close. So right after the draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. So yeah, after the draft, then it's, game on.
Tony had talked about maybe there's like a collection of guys they've already spoken to, and they're saying like not right now. Like, Tony, if you had to guess just kind of what type of guys maybe they're speaking to that are still out there on the market that are potentially just saying, hey, not right now, but, we'll check back in with you.
Yeah, I don't know. We know the positions that they have a need at.
And that would be it, wouldn't you think?
Like, it's that kind of, it's the Agba thing. Like, we know they needed to go find somebody else to put in that room. They had talked to Agba before the draft. They didn't address it in the draft specifically, so they came back around to it. It's that kind of thing. I don't know. We talked about it going into free agency. There wasn't a whole lot of juice at defensive tackle available, right? Like, it just wasn't out there. So if you're going into, I would describe it if you want to, if we're talking first, second wave of free agency, third wave of it, fourth wave, right? Like you're going back to the Thanksgiving dinner and everyone's had 2 helpings already. It's like, what's left to me?
I'm picking out some of that dark meat.
Like that kind of thing is what's left. It's not like there's a bunch of guys of the caliber of Calais Campbell that are available necessarily in this kind of end of it. They got a couple years left maybe in their career, like that kind of thing. And teams are just like, we want him, but we don't have to do it now. Like, we can do it in 2 months and he's fine with it getting done in 2 months.
Right. The only issue with that is if some other team maybe has an injury in that window and they accelerate the process on there and they go, wait a minute, you know what? We didn't need Calais Campbell, or to use him as an example. We didn't need him a month ago, but we just lost this guy in minicamp. So now, so there's always going to be some risk the longer you wait. But, the Ravens have done a really good job. There are probably several other teams over the years managing the compensatory formula, knowing when to strike and knowing when to let guys go.
Yeah. And maybe DJ Reader is a name
maybe.
That you could keep in mind with that kind of thing. I know he visited Baltimore last week, but maybe that could just be that, look, we'll talk to you again in 2 weeks. Right? Like, who knows exactly what that looks like, but that's the kind of player where it could happen.
A health check on it. Like, okay, he's good. We're ready to go. We know where he's at. And that's part of it. You bring guys in. It's like kickers, right? You bring kickers in. You bring in 3 or 4. You don't sign any of them. But now you've got, okay, we saw him firsthand. This guy went 9 out of 10 kicking whatever with the opportunities he had. And then you got your call sheet set up if you're not. In this case, because we have Cam Little. Come on. He's the perfect kicker. But, I'm very happy with Cam Little, all kidding aside. But, kickers are a funny lot.
They are.
Josh Lambo was the greatest thing we had seen in a while until he wasn't, you know?
The Cam Little one is a fascinating one, too. We talked a lot last week, obviously, about contracts and the potential free agents, and Cam's not at that point yet. But in a couple years, like we're talking about, are they willing to bite the bullet on their tight end, Britton Strange, right? Knowing what the cost is going to be to keep him. Are they willing to do it for that position? what is the cost going to be for Cam Little on a second contract?
Right.
Like, and if it is pushing somewhere in that 10 to 13.
Well, I mean, Brandon Aubrey wants 10, and the Cowboys are not willing to give it to him.
Right.
Right? So,
and from Jacksonville's perspective, they're going, hold the line. Right? Like, that's one of those where there are a bunch of people in the league that are like, not on this.
Right. We don't need to be paying kickers $10 million.
Right.
Right? 7.5, I think, is somewhere where the Cowboys are on that front. Now, Cam Little is eligible for an extension after this year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know what – I'm sure there's like a long-term board, right? Like they've got some kind of board, like here's what's rolling off in this year and that year and the other year, and here's what we expect to have, and here's the financial flexibility we expect. They know much more than we do. They live it every single day. But would anybody in Jacksonville be presuming he has another good year, Cam Little-esque kind of year, would anybody in Jacksonville be upset if they get him signed to an extension as soon as possible?
No.
Not me.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
But then again, you know, you can go like, let's get him on a cheap contract for one more year, and you know, we can always you can always franchise a kicker. I mean, honestly, you wouldn't want to do it, but the average of the top 5 would be a lot better than paying the guy $10 million. And the kicker has to know in the back of his mind that you've got that option to use on him potentially. Depends on all your other players out there. But, man, it's nice. I love having the specialists the Jags have right now. Kind of set it and forget it, not worry about that aspect of it. They've, I think, paid better attention as well to their coverage units last year, and I think we'll continue to see that in their special teams performance. So anyway, that aside, let's come back. Let's dip our toes into our mock drafts first, and then we'll get to Matt Miller over at ESPN, who put together a 7-rounder. It's a tough task. I do think Matt Miller is still one of my favorite draft analysts out there. Didn't like a lot of the early picks for the Jags, I'll be honest with you. At least the positions that he was focusing in on. And then, granted, you're doing the mock. You can make anybody last as long as you like. And I was like, wow, you got who, when? And so he made up for it a little bit on the back end. We'll get into that coming up next here on Jaguars Today. 641-1010. If you'd like to get in on the Key Buick GMC phone lines, this is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today. You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Superior products, exceptional service. Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
Get ready for spring turkey season at Green Acres Sporting Goods. Find shotguns trusted in the field from Browning, Beretta, and Benelli. Plus, the newest bows are ready to test shoot from Hoyt and Matthews. For over 55 years, Green Acres Sporting Goods has helped Northeast Florida hunters gear up with confidence. Stop by Green Acres today at the corner of Normandy and Hammond Boulevard, or shop online anytime at greenacresporting.com.
Jaguars Today. You're settled into a Dream Finders Homes Monday.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to itppartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
Northeast Florida's highest-rated residential home electrical contractor is American Electrical, providing unsurpassed quality in Duval, St. Johns, Clay, and Nassau counties. No matter your electrical problem or project, large or small, American Electrical will get it done at a price that's right. High-quality electrician, that's who they are. Trusted company that's been on the First Coast for decades, proudly serving the community while being a big part of the community. Call American Electrical for all your electric needs at 737-7770. Wired right at a fair price.
Instant Keys is turning 25. A quarter century of saving the day when your keys mysteriously vanish.
Seriously, it was just in my pocket.
Or when that remote fob decides to quit working.
The dealership is such a hassle.
For 25 years, Instant Keys has been the go-to locksmith service for car keys, house keys, transponders, re-keys, and even high-tech smart locks. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you for honest, professional locksmith service. Use Instant Keys.
Jacksonville, get ready. April 6th, the Florida Theater presents Leonid and Friends. This 11-piece band brings the sound of Chicago to life. Horns, vocals, all the energy. Hear favorites from Chicago, Earth, Wind, and Fire, Stevie Wonder, and more. One night only, April 6th. Get your tickets now at floridatheater.com.
You remember? Checkmate.
I'm Brendan Cecilia, founder of Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, Checkmate's mascot and brand ambassador.
Why do you even talk in these ads?
People see me on the trucks, Brendan, so they expect to hear from me as well.
But I have over a decade's experience personally installing high-quality polymer floors right here in Jacksonville.
Well, I'm a professional mascot, riding around on the side of your trucks, smiling at passers-by.
Then could you at least tell people about our 2-stage polymer application process? Give your garage the finishing touch with a gorgeous floor that's guaranteed to last?
A bit busy posing for selfies, I'm afraid.
Years of experience?
Check. Adorable mascot?
Check. The team you need to make your garage gorgeous? Checkmate!
Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate.
Visit checkmatecoatings.com. That's checkmatecoatings.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Jaguars today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, just moving into this Monday. April is on the way. That brings with it the NFL Draft, Mock Draft Monday. We like to put our unenviable skills. They're not very, you don't want to envy our skills when it comes to mock drafting, but we have put together a couple of them today, Tone. We did our typical one, which we do over at Pro Football Network every week. I'm just getting tired, to be honest with you, of seeing the same guys pop up at the same ranges. And RJ pointed out you can adjust, I guess, what the rankings are, and maybe maybe different guys will show up in different spots.
I didn't know you could do that. Now I know.
Now we know. So maybe we'll go back to doing that next week and just try some, maybe do them there using different sets
Like I just did another mock a moment ago, just using the consensus rankings on there, and it is different. Like it just played out so different.
Do you like Christian Miller?
Not all that much.
I don't know if I love him, man. And I see you had him there. All right, so let's just do that. Let's just, without any further delay, because we'll, mentally crumple these up as soon as the show's over with, and we'll have a new one next week. But let's go, Tone, start us out. What you do, any of the versions you did, give us what you did at Pro Football Network and also what you did at Pro Football Focus at PFF.
Yeah, Pro Football Network, I wound up with Lee Hunter.
Hey, me too.
The Texas Tech nose, and we've talked about him a lot, over the course of the last several weeks doing this kind of thing. It is, like, I get exactly what you're saying with the Pro Football Network thing. Like, every time I would get to 56, I'm like, I'm tired of discussing these same
Lee
four
Hunter,
guys in
Caleb
my
Banks
head.
are staring at me.
Right, and the Caleb Banks thing, look, we all are going to express and feel however we feel about Caleb Banks, and maybe there's room for it to change between now and the draft, but you asked me yesterday if it was Banks and Hunter, I went Hunter. I'm not sure that I'll feel the same way tomorrow.
Correct.
On that particular one, but that's where I wound up doing at 56.
I'd rather have Banks if I thought he was going to be healthy.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Hunter is 24, right? And he's more of a nose than a 3 technique, right? So I don't know if I love it as much, but I didn't love what the board showed me in value there either. All right, so you took Hunter, who'd you take on PFF?
On PFF
at 56.
At 56, I got linebacker Jacob Rodriguez out of Texas Tech. Obviously, he's a guy that has been kind of on the edge of our conversations, right? But he's not often there. when we're looking at the other, mock drafts that we've done. Reading about him is really interesting because if you just took his name out on virtually everything you read and put Devin Lloyd's name in, you'd be like, oh,
that guy.
That's exactly how I would describe Devin Lloyd. Like, it is funny reading about him. It just feels the same between the two guys. Athletic, instinctual, lost in coverage at times. Right? Like, that's the book, it seems, on Jacob Rodriguez. So if you're looking to replace Devin Lloyd, like, I don't know if you could write a more perfect descriptive way of trying to directly replace Devin Lloyd than the write-up on a guy like Jacob Rodriguez does.
RJ, give us your two dueling picks at 56.
All right, so I went two different positions, one corner, one edge. On PFF, I went Tre'Dan Stukes, cornerback, the number one cornerback that they have rated out of Arizona, 6-year senior. Now, they do say that he does have a lengthy medical history. However, I do kind of view this as for not only sharpening and also cementing that cornerback room a little bit more, because I do think that you need help. Could this also be help for a guy, because we still don't know what they want to do with Travis Hunter in terms of like, okay, we're going to play him just, coming out of the gate, he's just going to be a corner, and that's just how we're going to play this out, and then we'll have some plays for him on the offensive end. I think that's just what we would like for them to do, but I think that this could be a guy that could certainly help you out as you still kind of just ease Travis Hunter back into things. I know he's had like an entire offseason and the second half of the regular season where he was able to get healthy, but as you continue to ease him back in, I think this could be a guy that can also fill in that spot as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Zone guy, just looking a little bit about Stukes right now. Zone guys, so that kind of fits what they're doing right now. Who knows what they're doing in 2 years on defense. 4.33 at the combine.
It's weird, and maybe this doesn't hold up for corners. Somebody did a thing in the last week.
And he's a tweener, like safety corner. It's a big question as to whether he will play one or the other, even in the league.
Somebody think looking at the top receivers in the league and what they ran under 40s, and now you're going to find exceptions, but so many of them are 4.5 guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like the top guys are 4.5 or like mid 4.4 high. They're not the 4.33s. Those guys are sprinters who don't often turn out to be great football players.
Right.
But regardless, that's who you took at Pro Football Network. All right, who'd you take at PFF?
At PFF, I took Malachi Lawrence.
Okay.
He was there at 56.
Okay. I saw him in one of the mocks I was doing. I'm trying to watch names come off, and I got it set fast because I don't want to wait. And I saw Malachi Lawrence go 33rd in one of the mocks I was doing. So he was long gone off the board, the UCF pass rusher. For me, I, like you, took Lee Hunter over at Pro Football Network. We already talked about him. Tony, I took R. Mason Thomas out of Oklahoma, the edge. There, I got an A+ for that selection. Thank you very much at PFF. A+ grade for R. Mason Thomas. 9 sacks, 13 tackles for loss in 2024. Last year, 6.5 with 9.5 tackles for loss. So, over the course of a couple of seasons, he's averaging almost 8 sacks a year.
Mm-hmm.
There is production there from this guy. He's a good athlete and all that, everything you'd expect with an edge rusher ranked in this area. And the Jags, look, maybe you're looking at drafting a guy, who knows, in a world who's your starter 2 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't know how it's going to work out with the contract situation with Trayvon Walker. I know they want to get a deal done, and maybe they will. And we'll have Josh Hines Allen and Trayvon Walker for the next 4 to 5 years lining up across from each other. But we all, I think, agree, even if the guy, to me, this is one of the few spots you can draft a position that doesn't necessarily have to start for you right out of the gates and still have it be a value pick. So when R. Mason Thomas on the edge. All right, let's get pick 81, and then we'll take a timeout here, Tone. What'd you do at both spots?
On Pro Football Network, I wound up with guard Keelan Rutledge out of Georgia Tech, 6'4", 316. Pretty athletic guy. Tested really well at the Combine, 5'05" in the 40, 32.5-inch vertical, tied for third among guards at the Combine. 1,000 points and rebounds playing high school basketball, was a state champion shot putter, first team All-ACC, All-American in 24 and 25, the first Georgia Tech player to do that since Calvin Johnson. PFF had him ranked top 10 among guards nationally overall and on run and pass blocking grades. A car accident kept him off the field in 2023, but what we just talked about in 24 and 25 makes it look like that's behind him. He also played a little bit of center at the Senior Bowl, so he may have 3-position flexibility by the time he gets into the National Football League. And over at PFF at 81, I went Romello Height, the edge out of Texas Tech. I was just looking at his number, 6'3", 239. Today's college football, you get this kind of thing, right? He played 6 years in college, started at Auburn for 2 years, 2 years at USC, 1 year at Georgia Tech, 1 year at Texas Tech. Right.
Okay.
So he's all over the place, but he did have 10 sacks last year, so he'd come in as kind of your third edge guy.
And he and Jacob Rodriguez know each other quite well.
They do.
So there you have that. By the way, Rutledge, I think, was who Field Yates had to the Jags in his 2-round mock at 56. RJ, who do you got at 81?
I chose this guy because I just want to have a conversation starter. If he is there at 81, what does this say? Defensive tackle, Florida. Caleb Banks. I was looking at my.
If he's there at 81, I will.
Right, but I'm looking at like Pro Football Network. Well, I'm doing the draft, and I'm saying, wait a minute, hold on, like he's there at 80.
Guy's got a broken foot.
So that's what I'm saying. Like if he's there at 81, what are we essentially saying? Like, hey, his foot injury is causing him to go. Like it's worse than what we know, or is it?
That's right. You're right.
Yeah, I think in a mock I was doing over there last week, that I didn't take him at 56, right? I just made that, so I'm doing something else, right? And then at 81, he was there, and I said, no, he's not going to be here at 81. And then he was there at 88. I'm like, no, I've already made the decision for this mock draft. I'm not doing it. He got taken, I think, at 98. Right, so there was the chance he would have been there with that pick at 100, but I was like, what do we know?
I think if he makes it to the third round, you'd see the Jags package some of those picks, potentially, depending on what they had done at 56. Who'd you do at PFF?
At PFF, I went another direction. Kyle Lewis, linebacker from Pitt.
Love him.
Yeah, and it seems that Lance Zierlein loves him too. Just reading his overview from Lance Zierlein at NFL Network. Just talking about he's an undersized linebacker / box safety. He did have more production and fewer mental mistakes in 2024 than he had in 2025. Teams will need to have a plan on how to use them, but versatile self-package defenders with great speed and cover talent are valuable in this league. 24 tackles for loss, 6 interceptions, 10 sacks in the past 2 seasons.
I took Jacob Rodriguez, right, at PFF. It was interesting because this is the nature of these kind of mock drafts, right? When I was there at 81, I took a look at the other linebackers that were still there. Kyle Lewis was still there. Anthony Hill Jr. was still there at 81, and it kind of made me go, oh, right, because I love Kyle Lewis. Right, and the versatility that he has, I would love for that to be available for them in the third round.
All right, quickly, for me at Pro Football Network, I went in Lee Hunter at 56, took Jake Golday out of Cincinnati. Again, familiar name. This is, I'm boring myself to tears. Not that this would be a bad set of players.
No, yeah.
It's like I'm seeing the same guys pop up. I can't pass up linebacker there, so I got defensive tackle linebacker at PFF. I had taken R. Mason Thomas. Soft body Anthony Hill was sitting there, as you just mentioned, at 81, coming off the Texas Pro Day, where he, according to Tony Pauline's sources, looked a little flabby right there. So maybe that's – otherwise, you wouldn't be getting him anywhere in the third round probably, and maybe that'll be a fallacy anyway. But R. Mason Thomas out of Oklahoma, the edge, and Anthony Hill, the linebacker, out of Texas. I got a couple of picks coming up there that I have not selected in any of the mocks. So we'll get into those on the other side. Matt Miller did 7 rounds worth of work. We'll look at in hour number 2 for your Jacksonville Jaguars, 641-1010. If you want to get in on the Key Buick GMC phone lines, this is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Let the excitement of the game take you away.
Flyers back on top of the college basketball world championship madness.
Your home for play-by-play is 1010XL.
It's a great day to be a Gator.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. When you need a trailer hitch, gooseneck, or RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We've been doing it for 55 years, and customer service is our #1 priority. Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
Dreamfinders Homes Monday.
Jaguars today.
Meet John and Ben Lupo, first and second generation owners of Jacksonville's Beards Diamonds.
We can do things that these corporate stores cannot do. Make decisions on the spot. Our pricing is better than anybody else's. We do not do commissions.
We really try to keep it a family environment, relaxed. We're not trying to sell you what we want. We're trying to listen to what you want.
In fact, don't be surprised if you end up spending less at Beards than you had budgeted, because they're going to teach you how to buy a diamond like a dealer buys and show you how to buy smart.
If we can save the consumer money, we're all about that. If we can achieve the same look, the same quality, and for them to spend less, that's what Beards is built on.
Why pay more if you don't have to?
Dad always taught me from day one is you got to look at the diamond. You can't just buy off the paperwork. Rather than us just saying, hey, this one's $7,000, the other one's $10,000, we're going to tell the consumer why this one's $7,000 and why this is $3,000 less but almost looks identical.
Don't overpay at the Wall Street-owned corporate chain. Get the transparency and value you deserve at Beards at St. John's Town Center.
Don't miss the Bari Breakdown with Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays around 1:35 for the latest in sports injuries from all the big names in the game. Who's MIA, who's coming back? Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays at 1:35 on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-4477. Hairforme.com.
Do you want to grow your career with a company that's committed to growing with you? Florida Home AC has aggressive plans to double their workforce, and they're looking for determined, resourceful people with initiative. Just log on to floridahomeac.com/careers to find out more.
Daily Stash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey ham, melted cheddar and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daily Stash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Dailies is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Golf Club of Southampton is gearing up for brand new greens and a lot more, and now's your chance to save on membership before the fee increase. Take advantage of $1,000 savings if you join before the work starts in late April and before the initiation fee goes up. It's a great deal, plus $500 additionally in Pro Shop credit. Don't miss out. All the details are at golfsouthampton.com. Become a member now and save big. The course is in great shape, so head on out to the Golf Club of Southampton. Call 287-PLAY and get on the tee.
Jacksonville, you're on the clock. When your oil change is due, don't waste your pick sitting at a dealership. At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, there's no appointment needed. Just pull in, stay in your car, and in 15 minutes, you're done. That's a smart pick. With convenient locations, a 4.7-star national rating, and named #1 quick lube for customer service by Forbes, Valvoline is the easy choice. Make the right call. Valvoline Instant Oil Change, your first-round pick for service.
Hey, David again with Royal Pest Services. Termites, chinch bugs, roaches. It's their time of year to shine. Preventative maintenance is a heck of a lot cheaper than treating an active infestation. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to schedule your free estimate.
Ticket here for Action Garage Door. Nothing more frustrating than your garage door misfiring. When it does, I call Action Garage Door. They take action. Jeff and Art and crew, Jacksonville folks, not some big out-of-town chain. Something goes wrong with your garage door, take action. Check them out. Garage Door 911, GarageDoor911.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars today on 1010XL.
All right, there we go. I had to at least get to the beginning of the lyrics, RJ. It was too slow right there in the middle. Love that. Who doesn't love a little Earth, Wind, and Fire? All right, Mock Draft Monday, wrapping up hour number 1. Let's bang this out quickly here, Tony, because these will be lost to the ether and never to be referenced again unless we get them right, and then we'll go back and go, hey, I had
called
Jake
that one.
Goldade of the Jaguars in one of my 57 mock drafts. See, I knew exactly what was going to happen. All right, quickly, let's run through Pro Football Network, what you do with your first two, and who you got at 88.
Yeah, Pro Football Network at 56. I went nose tackle Lee Hunter at 81. Guard Keelan Rutledge at 88 over there. Wide receiver Elijah Surratt out of Indiana. I've talked about him, over the last couple weeks. 6'2", 2.5, 210. He just controls his body so well in the air, right? And the production is there. If you're looking from a Jaguars perspective, as we're learning about his athleticism, isn't going to test off the charts, but his competitiveness on the field is, right, for him specifically. And I think that probably counts more for the Jags than what does he test like at that position. Over at PFF, linebacker Jacob Rodriguez at 56. Then at 81, edge Romello Height, both out of Texas Tech. Then at 88, guard Jalen Farmer out of Kentucky, 6'5", 312. 2-year starter at guard. Right now, a better run blocker than he is a pass blocker. I've seen that in multiple spots when they're talking about him at this point. And if the Jags are going to address one of these offensive line positions, I would expect it would be on the interior somewhere. So it kind of makes sense. The value and the need kind of meet there if they're looking that direction.
Ed just sent us one of his. We always put a Mock Draft Monday post out there on social media, and he has Elijah Surratt going 88th from Indiana to the Jacksonville Jaguars as well. So you guys sharing a brain cell on that. RJ, if you would.
All right, Pro Football Network, trade in Stukes, cornerback Arizona, Caleb Banks, because he was there, and 81, defensive tackle out of Florida. 88, I wanted to take Surratt. He was gone, so I went with the second best option. Bryce Lance, 6'3", from North Dakota State. He is the younger brother of former first-round pick Trey Lance, but very productive. 1,000 yards, 8 TDs, while averaging over 21 yards per catch last season. As we were talking about, it seems like they want to go this direction where they want to get a guy who's like 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", be that red zone threat. It seems like he also has a lot of abilities that he can do outside of the red zone as well, where maybe you can put him in certain packages. So there's your 6'3" guy for Trevor Lawrence. And I think we kind of see just the energy in which they want to go and trying to get that guy if they don't re-sign St. Patrick.
All right, what'd you do at PFF?
PFF, Malachi Lawrence, edge out of UCF, Kyle Lewis, linebacker from Pitt. And then, I got a D grade on this one because I'm just in love with him, but he's going to be there later in the draft. Landon Robinson as my defensive tackle. I just think, the guys who he's talking to and being mentored by, I think he's going to serve to be a good pro in the league. I don't know if he's going to be there by the time we get to the fourth round, maybe, but
he's a Navy guy, right?
Yeah, Navy
right.
Guy.
Does he have a deferment? Is he?
I don't know.
Eligible to
that? I don't know.
I don't know how that works. Honestly, I don't know enough about that.
Right.
But I would presume nowadays it feels like if the guy's draft eligible, he's going to get the opportunity to play at least until his NFL career is done. He'll probably have some off-season duties and things like that, and then maybe have more of a commitment after his NFL career. I'm not 100% sure about that. All right, you do love that, man. Let's see. For me, over at Pro Football Network, I went Lee Hunter, the defensive tackle at 56, Jake Goldade, the Cincinnati linebacker at 81. Stop me if you've heard this one. Daryl Jackson, the defensive tackle out of Florida State, right? Presents some, 3 technique, but great size, 6'5", 330, long arm guy. And I would have no issue with these. I'm just like, there's nothing wrong with these guys. This might be an A-plus draft. I'm just sick of seeing the same names, right? So over at PFF, I had R. Mason Thomas, the edge out of Oklahoma, Anthony Hill, the Texas linebacker. I took for the first time in this Rayshon Benny, the defensive lineman, defensive tackle out of Michigan, to be pick 88 here. And big-time recruit. Not a super, sack guy, but again, you're in the late third round.
Yeah.
You're not going to get a healthy Caleb Banks type profile, right? I mean, there's I feel like they need to come away with a defensive tackle with one of those first 4 selections, the way the roster is set up right now, Tone. And look, we know if they don't think the value's there, they're going to skip the position. Yeah. They did it last year with edge. So I wanted to get a defensive tackle in there. That's who I took So let's get through here quickly in the last pick 100.
Yeah, pick 100 over at Pro Football Network. I wound up going with cornerback Takario Davis out of Washington.
Okay.
6 1/4 or 6.5. 6'1.5" and the 194, 4'4", 140, All Big 12 in 2024 with Arizona. Honorable mention All Big 10, despite playing just 13 games last year at Washington. His just playing 7 of 13 games last year. His athletic testing at the combine makes it seem likely to me that they would have to pull the trigger on him well before this, after his speed at that size and with a 37-inch vertical for the guy. But, you know, he was still available to me there at 100, so I wound up going that direction. And then I'm with you at 100 over at PFF. I think they are going to address the defensive interior. So I think this player was about 10 or 11 among the players available on just the list.
Okay.
Right, that they had there. But I wound up going with the Godfather, as they call him. Defensive interior, Dante Corleone out of Cincinnati. 6'1", 340. Size tells you the story. Nose tackle.
What did PFF give you, just out of curiosity? Because if you reach 10 spots, they're obviously not going to give you a perfect
that
B
pick
grade.
Was a B.
All right.
Yeah.
RJ.
For PFF, again, I just think I was dealt a hand where the computer's like, yeah, this guy's going to be available. So Deontay Lawson, linebacker out of Alabama. Doggone it, words are hard.
You got it.
Yeah, but Deontay Lawson out of Alabama, I mean, we've talked about him ad nauseum, and I mean, there's definitely going to be a need there for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Best guy available, although he was ranging in the 50s, so I don't know why he was there at 100, but I'll take him. And for PFF, I took Ted Hurst, wide receiver out of Georgia State. Here's a guy who is 6'4" as well. Lance Zierlein says that, you know, he could probably be a Z type of receiver. And also looked at as a vertical threat. I got a B grade for that one. So again, just trying to look in the tea leaves of what Jacksonville's probably looking to do, and they're looking to get like a 6'4", 6'5" guy, and he was the best available.
All right, for me, over at Pro Football Network, I took Austin Barber out of Florida, and if his scouting report is accurate, there's no way he's available at 100. Is he? 6'5", 314, stellar length, proportional mass. He's played both tackle positions. He's really good at pass blocking. He needs to get more powerful. Okay,
yeah.
If you didn't, that profile sounds like a first-round pick to me, honestly. So, maybe the future swing tackle may ultimately, down the line, maybe he replaces Cole Van Lanen on the left side. We don't know. Cole Van Lanen, it's not like Cole Van Lanen signed to a 15-year deal around these parts. So that was the name. I don't know. Maybe I've mocked once to the Jags, the Florida tackle. And RJ, me and you, baby, Ted Hurst at pick 100. and I'll be honest with you, I saw a clip from Greg Cosell, who's a great guy to break down
Greg,
film.
yeah.
And he is flipping backflips over this. He's like, it's the school. If you didn't play at this school, if you took what he is capable of doing and his production and all this, he should. Why isn't he a first-round pick is what he's saying. And it was interesting because when I did the Pro Football Network mock, he went at 55. I didn't even get a chance to take him for the Jags at all. Not that I would have taken him at 56, but I was like, oh, that's interesting. Then when I went to PFF, I'm like, he's there at 100. You just nailed it. 6'3", 195. He can stretch the field. He can use his body, big frame guy. And, it's one of the probably 5 premium positions in the National Football League. And I do feel like, Tone, it's like I've been going a lot of 3 defense, 1 offense, whether that's an offensive lineman. It used to be a running back. Now not so much with Chris Rodriguez getting signed. So anyway, maybe next week we'll go off the Pro Football Network consensus rankings, like Tony pointed out, and we'll mix it up a little bit there. So appreciate the ones who've already sent in a look at their weekly mock drafts, as one of our listeners each week sends, here's my annual mock draft. That's what he tells us every single week. I'm just going to let it slide. I guess I didn't, but that's the way it goes. 1 hour in, what did Matt Miller over at ESPN have to say about your Jags all throughout the selection process? Tony Smith will take us around the National Football League coming up. Hour 2 on the way. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach. Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Now, another classic moment in Jags history.
Brunell lofts it downfield looking for Keenan in the end zone. Keenan leaps, makes the catch. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Touchdown, Jacksonville. 31 yards.
The home of the home team you grew up with. 1010XL.
Liberty Landscape Supply is sponsoring Whiteout Cancer Night with the Jacksonville Icemen, Friday, April 3rd. Wear your Iceman gear in store and grab free game tickets while supplies last. Bring your ticket back with any $25 purchase and get a free 1-gallon plant. Liberty Landscape Supply has been making outdoor projects simple in Jacksonville for nearly 20 years. Find one of the 4 area locations at libertylandscapesupply.com.
It's a Dreamfinders Homes Monday.
Official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
In the game of vehicle performance and reliability, Atlantic Infinity is always the top pick. This is Hayes Carlion. Did you know that every certified pre-owned Infinity is inspected, factory-backed, with a limited warranty, and gets the same championship-level service as a brand-new Infinity? Every mile will feel like first class. Check out their full certified inventory now at AtlanticInfinity.com or visit Atlantic Infinity off Atlantic near St. John's Bluff.
Hey, Jacksonville, David Garrard here. If you want a street-legal golf cart that's built with quality and style, check out Dynamic Drives and Designs in Jacks Beach. They have new, used, and fully customized carts from the top brands like Atlas, Dodge, and Pilot Car. Every cart gets a complete expert inspection, so you know it's ready to hit the road. Their team can help you design the perfect custom cart that fits your style and needs. For your custom golf cart, visit DynamicDrivesDesign.com today and see your perfect ride.
What's happening, beautiful people? E.T. here. Let me tell you about a little something that's happening right here in my side of town in Fleming Island. Encore Research Group is advancing the future of medicine through clinical research studies focused on weight loss, diabetes, hypertension, and more. Their team of multi-specialty doctors are proudly serving folks in Fleming Island, Green Coast Springs, and Middleburg. If you ever wondered whether a research study might be right for you, find out at EncoreDocs.com to see if you qualify. Encore Research Group. The future of medicine starts here.
Has someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein and Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI, domestic violence, and all criminal offenses. In your battle with the justice system, there's only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein and Robbins, 354-5645. 354-5645.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal.
Stand back, Jason. I'm gonna
Sneeze? Yeah, I saw that coming.
It's all this spring pollen, Jason. It's outside and it's inside my house, and I just can't stop. I can't stop.
Sneezing? Okay, let me help you with that.
How can you help?
At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we can improve your indoor air quality with air purifiers, UV lights, and filtration systems. Every new system we install includes high-efficiency 4-inch filters that work better and last longer, even if you forget to change them.
Wow, that's amazing. It's amazing.
Life can get pretty dusty sometimes. If you spend all day, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Here's your 1010XL local sports update. As NFL owners meet in Arizona, the league's talking kickoff tweaks, AI tech, and even replacement refs, all shaping the landscape the Jaguars will play in this fall. The Iceman stunned Greenville with 2 goals in the final minute. Logan Cockerill tied it. Craig Martin won it. And Jacksonville grabs a massive 3-2 road win. That's your 1010XL local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson.
Right now, 73 degrees at 11:05. Time and 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars today on 1010XL.
Just out of curiosity, where do you put running back for the Jags? You pretty content with what they have, or do you think they need to add another piece?
I'm content.
I am too.
Right.
At least for this year.
I wouldn't be surprised if they added, somebody to that room. But
if a great value, a guy they loved, and they can get him a round or two later than they think his value is.
Yeah,
but
if there's a specific trait or something that they're looking for and they decide to go with a guy, like, it wouldn't surprise me if they did that, but it's not something that I anticipate them doing. I don't think they need to do it.
I mean, I would not. Would you be more surprised if they draft a running back or if they didn't?
If they did.
I think I would too.
Yeah.
But, you continue to see a lot of people mock running back to the Jags. And I'm not saying Chris Rodriguez is the be-all, end-all of everything, but LaQuinn Allen's not going anywhere, right?
No.
I mean, they love his intangibles and what he brings. We know Bajal Tutin and Chris Rodriguez. In my mind, at least, I say we know. I feel they could easily form a complimentary 1-2 in whichever order you want to list them.
Mm-hmm.
Rodriguez, Tutin, Rodriguez. At the top, you still have DJ Dallas, who's, how often does your third back get carries anyway?
Yeah.
Not very
And
often.
it's a draft where, after Jeremiah Love, no one's really talking about these backs in this draft.
Right.
Right.
There are people that love Mike Washington because of the speed or Jadarian Price out of Notre Dame at the right value.
Right. And I think there are enough running back needy teams that the conversation kind of circles around that kind of thing. I wouldn't put the Jaguars in a running back needy team. Right kind of category. So if they go through this whole draft and don't address it, I'd be like, okay.
I think they were in their mind, they were like, all right, if Travis Etienne, right? Gotta get used to it still.
Yeah.
ETN, formerly known as, leaves. Bajal Tutin, LaQuinn Allen, DJ Dallas ain't enough, right? And then maybe running back is a higher priority. And why did they give this money to Chris Rodriguez? Because I think he fills the spot as well as whatever was available was the most likely. Doesn't hurt the salary cap that much. I mean, they're under the cap, so
yeah.
But it's a little more than people would have expected them to pay for a running back this year in this cycle, I think. But it doesn't hit the compensatory formula. He's got the Liam Cohen connection, and I think the skill sets just are nicely complementary of each other.
And I don't know how you felt about it before they made the signing, right? When we would be doing the mock drafts on Mondays, and I'd be looking at running backs somewhere in the third round, generally speaking, and every time that I was doing it, I was just like, ugh.
If Price was there, I'd mock him to the Jags.
Yeah.
I had Jadarian Price out of Notre Dame in several mocks to the Jags.
But even when that kind of thing was available, I'd just be going, I guess.
I gotcha.
Right? Like, this is not what I want to spend a third-round pick on, but the roster tells me that it could be in play. That kind of thing. Like, every time that I was thinking about wide receiver as compared to running back, even before they had signed one, I would be way more excited about the wide receiver prospect.
Well, the talent's better. Right, yeah.
Yeah. It's all right, I guess I can, as we've described it, bite the bullet on some of these decisions. They need a running back. Okay, but now I don't think they do.
I mean, you could roster three, literally just three.
Yeah.
And be fine for the whole season if you escape
and if one
injury.
of them get hurt, there's going to be running backs that are available to bring in.
There'll be a DJ Dallas level back out there probably. But at wide receiver, like right now, Tim Patrick's spot is not full. Tim Jones, good special teamer. Is Austin Trammell going to make the team? You've got to add competition at wide receiver. So let me ask it this way, because I think you would definitely agree more likely to draft wide receiver than running back.
Yes.
Right? More likely that they draft one running back or two wide receivers? I think it's about a coin flip.
I do too. If I were going to have to push one side or the other on it, like where do I put the hook right on that bet, I would probably lean running back.
I'd probably lean wide receiver.
Yeah. But it's a really slight lean.
And
like,
that
that's
could be
one of those
great. Maybe they take a running back at 56, and I'll look like an idiot, and that's fine. It won't be the first time. But, I mean, wide receiver is such a valuable position. And we look at right now, yes, Travis Hunter is in that mix.
Yeah.
But if he's going to be playing full-time at defensive back, maybe he's just a package guy. So you've got Jacoby, you got Parker. What are you going to get out of Brian Thomas this year? Will it be a return to form? Let's hope so. But that's three. I could absolutely see them taking a couple of guys here, Tony. One that has a lot of special teams value.
Sure.
And maybe a big body guy somewhere along the line. Plus the fact that the talent pool is graded out as so much better at that spot this year. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they'll do neither of those things. Tony, why don't you take us on a quick tour of the NFL?
Now, Gems Around the NFL. Brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
Cleveland GM Andrew Berry addressed over the weekend the conversations that have been stirred up regarding the perceived increased chance that Myles Garrett could be traded after his deal was reworked at the end of last week. Berry didn't explain the rationale for the deal getting reworked, but did say this was not a precursor to a trade.
He said we could have traded him anyway. Yeah, you could have, but now it's less impactful on your salary cap if you do.
Like, whatever their reasons were, he's saying it's not so that we could trade him. Okay.
But that's one of the options. Yeah. It makes it easier to do anyway.
Absolutely, if they choose to go that direction. San Francisco GM John Lynch said yesterday that they are hopeful that tight end George Kittle will be able to play week 1 for them in Australia. He suffered a torn Achilles during their playoff game in January. Lynch also said that defensive ends Nick Bosa and Michael Williams, who both suffered torn ACLs last year, are expected to be back at some point during training camp there for the 49ers. New York Jets head coach Aaron Glenn, when asked about Geno Smith being the team's starting quarterback at the annual league meeting, Glenn said, quote, "No doubt about it, he's our guy," end quote. Well, there are no other options really on the roster, so that's not a big surprise. Chicago quarterback Caleb Williams is attempting to trademark the nickname Iceman. NBA Hall of Famer, 12-time All-Star, 7-time All-NBA, and 4-time scoring champion George Gervin, who had the Iceman nickname during and after his decade and a half in the NBA and ABA, said, quote, "I've been Iceman for 40-something years. I never thought anyone would try to trademark it. He kind of knocked me out of the box," end quote. Gervin has subsequently filed trademarks for Iceman and Iceman 44. His application went in on March 20th. Williams' application went in on March 16.
All right. We'll see how it all works out.
Yeah.
I'm never calling Caleb Williams the Iceman.
No.
I'm just telling you that right now. And he probably doesn't care because he doesn't know who I am. And that's fine, too. All right. Let's come back and take a look at what Matt Miller did over at ESPN. 7 rounds. It's not an easy enterprise. It's not like we can sit here and give you any kind of, realistic scenario for the Jags like that where we actually have something intelligent to say about all the 11 selections that they'd be making. So let's look at a guy who should have some intelligent things to say about each of them. And Matt Miller, ESPN 7-round mock. We'll dig into it from a Jaguar perspective. Coming up next on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. 60 minutes. 4 quarters. 2 teams. 1 winner. 1010XL.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Jaguars Today.
It's a Dream Finders Homes Monday.
Stop letting high-interest debt weigh you down. Pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. It's a completely hassle-free way to cash out your home equity with no appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan uses AI-driven technology to get you approved for cash in as little as 1 day with a rate that's at a 3-year low. One client got $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out all their credit cards, started a home improvement project, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,500. Call Loan Pronto now and see how much cash you can get. No hard credit pull up front. Imagine, this time next week, you could be credit card debt-free. Loan Pronto, A-rated by the BBB, with nearly 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. That's 999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Most things are easy when you're motivated. The question is, what happens when you're not? That's where Awaken 180 was different for me, Sneaky Joe, Bowerly, Beamer, and everyone else I know. Get motivated at awaken180weightloss.com.
The offseason is when you add speed, power, and precision to the team.
This is your game plan.
Keep the offseason rolling with AA Automotive and 1010XL. AA Automotive on Richard Street. Family run since 1954.
Rick
Lou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental, with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
Are you in the doghouse or maybe have a special occasion soon? It's funny how Kuhn Flowers can take care of any situation. Max Fink here, and anytime I've needed to make her happy, I rely on Kuhn Flowers to make that happiness happen. There's only one, KuhnFlowers.com.
At G&H Tires and Service, the G stands for great pricing. The H, well, that means honest service. For over 20 years, Roger and his team have helped Jacksonville drivers stay safe on the road. Need brakes? Oil change? AC not blowing cold? Well, how about a super affordable $36 oil change? Affordable brake jobs, AC checks before summer hits, alignments for all these construction roads, and even free check engine light inspections. Locally owned, community driven. G&H Tires and Service on Beach Boulevard.
SportsForecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web, precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. At SportsForecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. SportsForecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
Hey guys, Coach Campo here. We just left Tony D's Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295. My wife is still raving about the eggplant parmesan. At Tony D's, it's more than just pizza. I'll see you there.
PGA Tour star Ricky Fowler.
If you want to be the best, you have to practice with the best. That's why I had Southwest Greens install and maintain my putting green, and my synthetic lawn, and my chipping area, and my practice bunker area, and my bocce ball court, and our pole vaulting area.
Southwest Greens is the world's premier manufacturer and installer of putting greens, synthetic grass, chipping areas, practice bunkers, and just about anything else you want to do in your yard.
It's Southwest Greens.
Log on to southwestgreensofjacksonville.com to see what they can do to your backyard.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Jaguars today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I appreciate, Tony, you trying to take my advice. From Friday, I mentioned that documentary, 100-Foot Wave.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, it's a few episodes. I didn't know how many episodes it was. I watched like 2.5 episodes. I'm like, all right, I'm going to finish this thing up. Get to the end of episode 3. Would you like to start the next episode immediately?
What do you mean next episode?
There's another one?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess there's one more. It's got to be coming to the end. Would you like to start episode 5? Would you like to start episode 6? So at the point when I realized it was at least 6 episodes, I decided, how many episodes is this thing? Let me go look. 3 seasons of this show.
6, 6, and 5.
Yeah, so total of 17 total episodes. I have now completed season 1.
All right.
It is still phenomenal. Absolutely love it. So if you like, even if you've never surfed a moment in your life, I think you can appreciate, if you've ever been on the ocean, if you've ever been afraid of a wave, if you ever got tossed around by the undertow, whatever the case may be.
Yeah. Embrace the madness of chasing that kind of adventure.
What does Alexa tell me every damn minute of the day? Like, hey, Alexa, what's the weather? That's really what I use Alexa for. That or play this song, right? So, hey, Alexa, what's the weather tomorrow? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, there's what is it? It's not a small craft advisor. There's some undertow. Every time there's like some surf advisory every time. Alexa, like at a certain point, I'm not going into the surf. Learn from me.
But
here.
we're relatively close to the water.
You have 2 notifications from Amazon. All right, Alexa, I'll bite. What are my notifications? There's a high surf advisory. Okay, thank you very much. But anyway, it's a great series, 100-Foot Wave. Didn't realize how many episodes it was. It's good, and it's good because you can kind of put it on the background and kind of watch it halfway and look at your iPad and do whatever and all this. Although there are a lot of as you get deeper into it, a lot of international surfers in there, and there's a lot of closed captioning going on too. So that's part of it. But I still think it's absolutely amazing. Didn't realize how long it was. Gives me something to watch. All right, here we go. Matt Miller, ESPN. Nothing crazy at the top. He's got Jeremiah Love going to the Titans. Boo. I don't like that. Let's see what he's got for the Texans later on down the line at the end of the first round. What do they have? 28, I think. They have Blake Miller, the offensive tackle out of Clemson, or Matt Miller does. Ty Simpson, he's got lasting to the first pick of round 2. I don't think that's likely. I think they did a thing with he and was it John Reed and Field Yates all weighed in on what percentage likelihood that Ty Simpson will be a first rounder. Miller said 25%. Reed said 75%. Field Yates said 90%. I think it's up there, right? Because you get the extra fifth-year option. Somebody will trade into Seattle's spot at 32 or something along those lines and grab that guy. So he goes there at 33. Let's see who comes off the board in between there.
Caleb Banks went 31.
Caleb Banks went 30. Okay, thank you. Because I was just kind of skipping here to the second round a little bit. Eli Stowers out of Vanderbilt, you've got on your short list there, RJ. He goes 43rd, not even close to landing to the Jags. Anthony Hill goes a pick later in this mock. R. Mason Thomas, who I had in one of my mocks today, goes to the Colts at 47. Christian Miller, who you had in one of yours, Tony, went at 48. We talked a lot about Jadarian Price. He's 49. Malachi Lawrence, RJ Saunders guy, at 50. Right there. So, all right, 56 for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think this would be universally approved of for the most part. Jacob Rodriguez. Jags need a playmaking middle linebacker. That's what Rodriguez does. We need a playmaking linebacker. I don't know if we need a playmaking middle linebacker right now. I mean, can he play the strong side role? Can he give us a little pass rush? Can he give us some coverage? Can he be a good sideline-to-sideline guy? Like, Foyer's got the middle, but how many more years? And what do they think of Kaiser as a eventual replacement plan?
And if, you draft a guy like Rodriguez and he is basically the Devin Lloyd role, right, where he's the other stand-up linebacker they have that is full-time. Like one of the guys that's going to be on the field basically full-time, and say in 2 years you got to move off Foyer and he moves one spot over to the middle, like that makes sense.
Absolutely.
From a team planning perspective.
4 picks last year, by the way. It was similar production to Devin Lloyd, right? And had 13 forced fumbles in his college career. I mean, I think we're conditioned
the counting
enough.
Numbers count. Like when you look at Jacob, they do. Like his numbers statistically, they're all there.
I like the production tone. I mean, I want measurables. We all want the measurables. We all want everybody to run a 4.2 40 and bench press, 8,000 reps of 225 pounds. That's fantastic. But I'd like to see that then, I'm this good of an athlete. Why didn't I dominate the college level? Let's, at 56, you should find a guy. By the way, if you're taking Rodriguez at 56 and he is not starting 17 games barring injury as a rookie, I'll be disappointed, or let's put it this way. If he's not starting by the end of September, you know what? He's got to be starting very quickly, in my opinion, if you take a linebacker at that spot. Gabe Yakis, I'm not sure how you say it, out of Illinois. We've mocked him a bunch. He goes at 58 here. I'm not going to go through every single selection. All right, so let's get down to the Jags. Carson Beck, by the way, goes at 65. I had one mock I did. He went at 99 today. Jake Golday, who I mocked today, went to the Texans at pick 69. Lee Hunter goes to the Bengals at 72. Trayden Stukes, who RJ had, goes 73. So all these guys kind of in that range. Here we go. Bud Clark at pick 81. Safety out of TCU. Key for a defense that thrived on big plays and timely takeaways. The Jaguars were last year, and replacing him is key for this defense. Andrew Wingard, they're talking about. 6'1" Clark is a center fielder with 4.41 speed and 15 career interceptions. Isn't that what Caleb Bransall's supposed to be? I mean, that's what he's supposed to be, right? Center fielder for this team. I don't know what they know about Caleb Bransall. You know what I mean? Like, if they think Caleb Bransall is going to be healthy,
it's an open question. Yeah.
But, and you've got Antonio Johnson and you got Eric Murray. I don't love taking a safety.
Neither do I.
At 81, I don't love taking a safety in the first 3 rounds. Or those first 4 picks.
It's one of those spots where I don't feel the need to do it. Like if they find a guy that they like, it makes some sense to me. if they want to go that direction with it. But I do, the value I just don't think is necessarily there. In hindsight, I would love to know what Caleb Bransaw, where is he?
Right.
Right. Like, I would love to have an answer to that kind of question. They obviously have a better idea of what that is than I do. Right. But do I think, given how I think they value the safety position specifically, do I think they're willing to go third round a couple of years in a row at that spot? Probably not.
I wouldn't think so.
Right. But again, a lot of that is they know what's going on with Caleb Bransaw more than I do.
But if you presume he's healthy, if you presume he'll be healthy at some point,
I'd be surprised if they do it. Yeah.
I would be disappointed, I think. But again, I don't have the full vision that they do. If they don't pick the guys that I want, that doesn't mean they're not going to be right. I'm going to root for whoever they pick, but that would not be my plan going into it. So at 88, again, this is Matt Miller over to ESPN. TJ Hall, cornerback out of Iowa. So now we've taken a safety and a corner with 3 of those first 4 picks. No defensive lineman, no edge, no defensive tackle there. Hall doesn't boast elite speed, but his timing and ability to win at the line of scrimmage with press technique make him a starting caliber corner outside, a starting caliber outside corner who would allow Travis Hunter alignment flexibility. First, you're talking about his press technique. I mean, I think we are honing in on more zone techniques right now. Not that playing the ability to play press man is a bad thing, ever. But not super fast. Monteric Brown is here. And Monteric Brown's contract, he is a starting corner on this football team unless it's a catastrophically bad contract. He will start for the Jags for the next several years, unless he regresses. I think they see a lot to like in him. I think he had his best year last year. So if you've got him, if you've got Jordan Lewis, I guess you could look at it the same thing. We're talking about when you take 2 wide receivers or 1 running back, which is more likely for this team. And when you note that, okay, Travis Hunter, he's a wide receiver, but he's going to play a lot of corner. Well, he may be called upon to play more wide receiver as well. We don't know.
Yeah.
Corners are valuable. I would feel better taking a corner. If I could spend 1 pick on one of those 2 positions, corner to me is where you always want to load up.
Me too.
But again, I don't know if I necessarily feel the need to take one in the first 3 rounds.
No, I don't feel the need to do it. But again, we do the exercise every Monday where we're looking at the mocks, and more often than not, I feel like right now I wind up with a corner as one of those 4 picks, but I read a little bit about the guy and I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
That fits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And I just did a little bit of reading about TJ Hall because I hadn't read about him before, and I read about it and I go, I don't see where this fits.
Right.
Right. Like, he's the way they're talking about it is just kind of a sub package nickel guy, like that kind of thing. I'm like, I don't know. Like, if I'm going to spend one of the first 4 picks for him, I think it's a guy that I foresee likely being an outside corner long term is what I think they would be willing to pull the trigger on, at that point in the draft, not another inside guy. Now, the TJ Hall write-up reads up as a really competitive
an outside guy. Yeah.
He's a really competitive guy. He's downhill. Like that kind of thing, but he doesn't have great athleticism necessarily, but he's super competitive. And I do think that side of it, would appeal to the Jags to some degree. Like, the competitive stuff, I think, counts big, with the Jags and their evaluation of these guys. But I read the write-up on TJ Hall, and it's like, I don't see it.
Yeah, I would, for instance, there just a few picks later, Derek Moore, the edge out of Michigan. I think,
would love that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would like that. By the way, our new guy, RJ, Ted Hurst goes 97th in this mock. Just missed him at 100. So, and we'll take a break after this one as we get through round 3. Okay, so we've gone corner, we've gone safety, we've got no defensive lineman. Yeah. So perfect. Let's get a running back at pick 100. Oh, no. Emmett Johnson, running back out of Nebraska. Now that Travis Etienne is in New Orleans, the Jaguars could add another back. Johnson's more of a bruiser than Etienne and could be Jacksonville's between the tackles option. Sounds exactly like someone who played for Washington last year. Who might that be? Oh, Chris Rodriguez.
Yeah.
I mean, you wonder, like, I would think a 7-round mock takes a little while to put together, right?
I would guess.
A little bit of time. It's not coming together overnight.
Especially considering he did a little bit of a blurb about the first 3 rounds.
Right, on every player in the first 3 rounds. But, I mean, it's almost like, are you not aware what they paid Chris Rodriguez? I mean, that's exactly the role. Can he be Jacksonville's between the tackles option? That's exactly what Chris Rodriguez is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Why spend a valuable top 100 pick on that position when you've got the guys that you've got. I don't know. I put it this way. I'd be questioning this draft after, what would this be, Friday night, if this is the direction the Jags go. But couple of picks later on that kind of made up for it. So, look, again, it's all fun and games. Nobody really knows how this whole thing is going to play out, but we'll see what Matt Miller did for the Jaguars in the final 4 rounds of his mock out there. He had Daryl. It's interesting to see a few of these guys fall. Daryl Jackson at pick 139, right? And he might be right. I don't know. You know, we maybe we're pushing him up the board because of the local aspect of it. I'm not sure. But the Jags had a shot at him and passed him up in this mock, and they still had yet to take a defensive lineman. So we'll get into that coming up as we make our way through the second hour of Jaguars Today. XL Primetime coming up at noon, and boy, do they have a smorgasbord to select from the weekend sports offerings. You're listening to Jaguars Today. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and RJ Saunders on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Sports sounds better on radio.
I love it. I love it.
You get the most live sports on 1010XL.
Did you know that an annual coating inspection can extend the life of your building by years? Catching early signs like hairline cracks, fading, and moisture intrusion helps prevent costly repairs down the road and keeps your property looking its best. Our team at Performance Painting helps you stay ahead of maintenance with professional inspections and long-lasting coating solutions. Protect your building, protect your budget. Go to performance-painting.com to schedule a free inspection. Performance Painting, repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
Dreamfinders Homes, Monday.
On Jaguars Today.
Jacksonville, get ready. April 6th, the Florida Theater presents Leonid and Friends. This 11-piece band brings the sound of Chicago to life. Horns, vocals, all the energy. Hear favorites from Chicago, Earth, Wind and Fire, Stevie Wonder, and more. One night only, April 6th. Get your tickets now at floridatheater.com.
Do you remember?
How wide is home plate in baseball?
Southern Oak Insurance is proud to continue offering coverage statewide. Financial stability makes Southern Oak Insurance a wise choice for your homeowner's insurance needs. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The home plate in baseball is a generous 17 inches wide, although most major league pitchers would think otherwise.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Hey, Jacksonville DDH. Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here with the scoop from Dreamfinders Homes, your National Builder of the Year. We've got first-year interest rates as low as 2.99% in homes in 20-plus communities throughout Northeast Florida. If you're house hunting, make sure your first pick Dreamfinders Homes, the proud official home builder of the PGA Tour, the Florida Gators, and your Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dfhsalesevent.com today and tell them Dreamfinders Danny sent you.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. Triumph did a really cool thing last year, Greg. They went off-road. What's happening with Triumph?
Well, not only did they go off-road, they threw all the chips on the table. Ricky Carmichael personally developed this motorcycle for them. So if you haven't seen the Ricky Carmichael 450, you need to come see it. Also just released some Enduros this year. They've got a full lineup. You're going to love them.
Talking Triumph, the latest off-road Cycles of Jacksonville on Atlantic near Regency. Check out cyclesofjacksonville.com.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Clayton, I've got a simple question. How much does a 1-carat diamond cost?
Frank, that's an impossible question to answer because a carat is only a measure of weight for gemstones. It'd be no different than me saying, I have a beautiful wife. She weighs 125 pounds, which you'd find is a ridiculous description. Diamonds are graded for 4 factors, and carat weight is only one of those factors. The others are cut, color, and clarity, and each of these factors is graded specifically and set by a certified gemologist in an accredited gem laboratory. So when you ask about a diamond's weight, we're going to tell you more than just the price. At Underwoods, we want a customer to understand how all 4 factors of diamond quality relate back to the rarity and value of the diamond. Needless to say, we all understand the value of a dollar. At Underwoods, we want our customers to know what their dollar buys in diamond value. So if you're shopping for the best, stop by Underwoods.
That's at Underwoods in San Marco, in Avondale, or at the shops of Ponte Vedra.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
All right, somebody on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosure says, if you can upgrade a position, you upgrade a position. You can find need on the practice squad. Lamar Jackson, in my opinion, is the best example of what I'm talking about. You don't pass on better players. We constantly draft mediocre players because of need. Look, this isn't presuming that you're going to be reaching for these guys. I have trust in James Gladstone and Tony Baselli and Liam Cohen and the Brain Trust to put together. You don't often get guys sticking out like sore thumbs. Usually the talent is pretty close in that range. And if you're, you could talk about upgrading. There are positions that are less important to upgrade than others.
Yes.
And there are positions that are just more important to draft. So could you potentially upgrade one spot here? Well, maybe so, but it might be more important to have depth at a premium position. Making sure you've got enough edge rush, enough wide receivers, enough guys to cover those wide receivers, enough guys to protect your quarterback and the quarterback themselves. Beyond that, a lot of those guys are interchangeable, and you're not going to see big money being spent. It's why Devin Lloyd and Travis Etienne or Achane are no longer with him this year. Like, I get the point. And it's funny because you and I off the air were talking about Lamar Jackson earlier this morning. Like, what would the history of the Jaguars be if Lamar Jackson was the pick instead of Taven Bryan?
Yeah, man in the high castle, that one.
Right. I mean, alternate reality scenario right there. That's a good one. By the way, For All Mankind, speaking of alternate history, came back last Friday.
Sure.
So what's his name? The guy who's the lead in that, the tall guy who's been in a million things. Greg Kinneman. Is it Greg or Joel Kinneman? Right? Joel Kinneman, who's like in Suicide Squad and all that. They got him aged up to like 80 now. Because every year of this series, RJ, it jumps a decade. Every season of the series, For All Mankind, for those who don't know, it's about the Soviets beat America to the moon. And what changes in history just because of that one event that went differently. And it's fascinating.
Yeah,
series.
I heard that space race got like pretty deep, like during that
crazy.
time.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
We had a whole Cold War thing going.
By the way, do y'all hear that, like the whole thing, we're going back to the moon this weekend? No, we're flying around the moon.
Yeah.
So maybe closer to the moon than we've been in a while. But going to the moon means your little astronaut booties are on the moon. It doesn't mean flying around it, orbiting it, whatever. I'm going to fly over Kansas. I'm going to Kansas. No, you're flying over Kansas. So
where do you fall on the conspiracy, whether or not it happened?
Conspiracy.
Look, first of all,
whether or not it happened,
1,000% we went to the moon.
Okay, because I mean, listen, I watched MythBusters as a young child, and they did the whole thing, and I did a project on it as to whether or not we've been to the moon.
I have said this before. They made that documentary a few years ago, the Apollo 11 documentary, where they had all the NASA coverage, and that's basically the whole thing, was just them putting together all the NASA coverage so that you could re-experience it. And when I went and saw that movie, I came out of it thinking, if I didn't know how this movie ended when I walked in, like I know we get to the moon and that we get them home. I know that's how this story, if I didn't know that when I walked in, I'm telling you, this would be one of my 10 favorite movies I've ever seen. That's how awesome I thought the entire thing was. And now, in hindsight, you look at those things and they had 25% of the computing power I'm picking up in my hand in my phone.
Right.
And we found a way to get people to the moon and back. Like, it's an insane accomplishment, and anyone out there that's doing the conspiracy thing, give me a break.
No, you know what? This is crazy, because I don't believe in the conspiracy. Right? I don't, and I know people do. Put it this way, I got more respect for you thinking we didn't go to the moon than if you're a flat earther, okay? Because you people are just idiots, all right? Yeah. I'm sorry, you are. Like, I don't care who that offends.
I can
you're
prove
idiots.
the flat earth thing now. I just got to look outside.
You're freaking idiots, okay? The whole lot of you, and I think it's just a massive troll job, but whatever. But I got a friend of mine who literally worked for NASA, right? Was a literal rocket scientist, okay? And teaches physics now in high school, but whatever. But
you'd have to be.
So for once, I remember, and I brought up to him, I said, look, I see these things like the
Tell me
flag,
about the
flag
shadows.
doesn't move.
Yeah.
Tell me about the shadow. And he went through and he goes, and he debunked like 15 things are wrong. And I wasn't trying to prove him wrong. I was just like, I'm curious because these are the arguments, right? And he goes, bam, bam, bam. And he goes right through. So then like a year ago, He goes, I'm not sure we went to the moon. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
Holy
cow. Are you kidding me?
Listen, didn't Buzz Aldrin almost kick somebody's ass?
The guy came to interview him in his house and didn't tell him that he was going to call him a liar. And Buzz Aldrin's like, listen, buddy,
at my old age,
you better get out of here. I'm going to punch you right in the face. So whatever.
But America would have cheered.
I saw that, we're going back to the moon this week, and why is no one talking? I'm like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, are we really going to put people on the moon? Because that would be kind of exciting.
That'd be amazing.
We haven't done it in a long time. No, we're not. We're not going to do that. We're just going to kind of drive past it, somewhere near it. Hey, guys, we're going to go to the beach. Daddy, wait. Oh, no, you see it, right? You see it. Keep moving. Keep driving. It's not the same thing.
These are where the stars live.
Yeah.
Correct. All right. Let's just rip through this quickly. I'm not going to belabor it any longer than we already have, which is a lot. Matt Miller, we told you what he did for the Jags, those first 4 picks. He had him taking Jacob Rodriguez, we love, then a safety, a corner, and a running back, not so much. Then he goes wide receiver to him. We don't need pass rush, okay? Yeah. Josh Cameron, the wide receiver out of Baylor there. Then Grayson Holton. See, now this is where the whole thing, I'm like, wait a minute. Grayson Holton, when we do him in mocks, a lot of times you can't get him at 81, right? And so here he is at pick 164, so that kind of makes up for it a little bit, right? And
it would certainly be the pick I'd be most excited about to this point.
Oh my gosh, right? Yeah. We got this guy in the 5th round. Are you kidding me? And then 2 picks later, Alex Harkey, who's an offensive tackle out of Oregon. Let's see, Jags pick 203, DJ Campbell, guard out of Texas. Going back to the offensive line, Jags get Avery Smith, a corner out of Toledo, and then defensive tackle James Thompson out of Illinois, and finally Armaj Reed Adams, a guard out of Texas A&M. Not a single edge rusher among the lot right there. And I'm with you. I'd be like Grayson Holton, Jacob Rodriguez. Let's go. Hope you guys, the rest of you, are any good. And again, I'm not going to get too crazy on anybody who's got the ability to put together a 7-round mock draft. I certainly don't.
Right?
That's why we kind of limit ourselves to the 3 rounds. If the Jags had a pick in the 1st round, we'd be doing 1st-round mocks probably and seeing who the Jags ended up with for sure. But there's your guy Bryce Lance going off at 96. RJ, I believe, had him in his mock, one of them this morning. All right, so you go check that out over at ESPN.com. Matt Miller has got that there for you. When we come back, Tone, let's check in on our question of the day. Interesting, it's very heavily weighted towards one end of the poll. We asked you today, assuming the NFL approves the Jaguars playing their non-London home games in Orlando next year. That's a mouthful. How many games do you think you will attend at Camping World Stadium? As many as they play, at least 3, 1 or 2, or I'll just wait for 2028 when the brand new one opens up, or at least the newly refurbished one opens up here in Jacksonville. We'll come back and look at that as we close up shop today on Jaguars Today here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
For the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. 1010XL. Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Mike Dempsey, if you're thinking about a bathroom upgrade, maybe turning that old tub into a safer walk-in shower, check out 5 Star Bath Solutions. I shopped around, talked to several companies, and I chose 5 Star because their customer service was simply incredible. Responsive, honest, upfront about the entire project, and their pricing was even better than expected. When you're ready for a fresh look, better comfort, and a bathroom space you'll love using every day, schedule your free consultation at 5starbathsolutions.com and get the 5-star experience.
Jaguars Today Monday is built by Dream Finders Homes.
Official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So, you finally have some time to yourself. Even if it is just the car ride home, it's you time. And look at you. Do not disturb set before you even got in the car? Impressive. You've earned this moment to just chill and drive. This break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
Hey Jacksonville, this is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, proud partner and orthopedic specialist of Jacksonville. We're honored that the Jacksonville Icemen rely on our team for their sports medicine and orthopedic care. We built this practice with one mission, to raise the bar for orthopedic care right here in our hometown. Faster access, smarter treatment plans, and better results. Whether you're recovering from a sports injury or managing joint pain, we're here to help you get back in the game, stronger and pain-free. Visit osjax.com to learn more. That's osjax.com.
Not everyone is built for a cubicle. At Local 234, apprentices get paid to learn hands-on skills like plumbing, pipe fitting, HVAC, the stuff Jacksonville runs on. No endless lectures, no massive student debt, just hands-on training, real jobs, and real pay. This is how you level up, by doing work that actually matters. Check them out at ua234.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Local 234. Make the right connection.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here, and the cooler weather is upon us. Folks, it's the perfect time to try the new breakfast sandwich from Dandy Foods. A hearty one, too. A twin-pack cinnamon swirl and country sausage. You get the sweet first, then the salty kicks in, and trust me, they are addicting. And you'll find them all at daily stores around town. So the next time you're out and about, stop and get all that deliciousness in less than a minute from Dandy. Just one more reason to go out and make yours a dandy, and do it today.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it worse. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
With 50 years of fabrication expertise in towing products, the family at Cannons of Jacksonville can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Multi-unit hair grafting is now available at IHRS and can give you 3 times more hair in one procedure over a traditional hair transplant.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
You can grow your hair back with this exclusive new procedure. Call now for your free evaluation and see if multi-unit hair grafting or PRP can restore your hair. Call 904-777-IHRS.
My bald spots are gone. Thanks, IHRS.
IHRS is the only clinic in the Southeast to offer all proven solutions to restore your hair and is now offering multi-unit hair grafting. One procedure, more hair.
You've got nothing to lose but more hair. I feel younger, I look younger, and who doesn't want to feel better about themselves?
This year, grow your hair back. Call for a free evaluation. Call IHRS 904-777-IHRS 777-4477.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars today on 1010XL.
It's a beautiful day when we all can celebrate together. We all can come together.
Mm-hmm.
Like a couple of things bring America together. The Jacksonville Jaguars winning and Duke losing, right? Can we not all agree on that? Duke, if you're not a Duke fan, you take a little extra relish in Duke losing.
Yeah.
Right? Am I wrong about that?
Now you know what it's like to be a Yankee hater.
That's fine. Yeah. Honestly. Duke is like our grandnephew when it comes to that, man.
It goes on and on.
Please, you kidding me? Right. You can take all the hate for all the organizations and all the arrogance rankings and stack them all together. They may give us like an inter squad game because the Yankees are at the top of the freaking heat for good reason. Thank you very much.
Who's 2 then?
Who cares?
Who
Probably
cares?
Who cares? The Yankees are 1. You don't need another person on the list, RJ.
Well, you're saying like grandnephew. I'm just talking about like at the family reunion. If
the list is over. Doesn't matter.
It's, like just
argue amongst yourselves.
Who's the matriarch?
I don't know. I don't know who that would be.
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys. They're loved and hated, right?
No.
Right?
No.
Don't know. NBA?
Lakers.
Or the Celtics.
Yeah.
I don't know. Lakers, Celtics. Depends on which side of the thing you come down on.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. I honestly don't really care all that much. Let's get to today's question of the day. Assuming the NFL approves the Jags to play their non-London home games in Orlando, I think they'll vote on this tomorrow is what I'm told. It's owners' meetings week. How many games do you think you'll be attending at Camping World Stadium? 51% of the respondents, Tony, said 1 or 2 games. In other words, they're going to check it out, but not go.
Yeah, it's not so far out of the way that it's impossible for people to get down there and back in a day.
Right.
It's a long day. It's a whole lot longer than when they're playing downtown. But there's also the fans we know that are kind of in that part of the state anyway.
Yeah.
Or living halfway between us and Orlando.
Is it much different if you live in St. Johns County? Like in like where I live?
Probably not.
Would it be that much different?
It's probably a little bit further to Orlando, but not crazy. It's about the same.
Not too much.
It's just dealing
different.
with getting in and out of Orlando.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So 51% said they'd go to one or two. 34% roughly said none. I'll wait till next year, which, again, we're not breaking this down by people who typically go to games, how many games you typically go to, where you live, and all that.
Yeah.
As many as they play, 11%, like, hey, doesn't matter. I'm going to be there.
I go.
Hardcore. And at least 3, which is a weird kind of spot. 4% said that. So, like, I could see myself, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'll go to every single one. So, anyway, that got 4% of the vote right there. And it'll be fun. You and I mean, it's like you and I don't set foot in the stadium anyway.
No.
We work out of the Miller Electric Center, and I presume that's what we will continue to do.
Yeah.
You know, so we'll head north while everybody else is heading south on the highways in those early Sunday mornings. And, you know, I don't really care, man. Just win games.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm curious to see how all that's going to look when they actually do get the new one built and what everything's going to look like around there, the parking, the whole thing. Like the experience of whatever the new stadium is going to be and what that plan is going to look like. I have no clear idea of, you know, what any of that is going to be ultimately here in a couple of years when they do have the new thing built. But I'm with you. Like it has no impact on me whether they're playing in Orlando or here as far as how many games I go to. Right, like all it means for me is
us.
Right, like I get to park at the Miller Electric Center instead of having to go and walk into the building every week. You know? Like that's all that'll mean for a year.
Takes a 200-yard walk out.
Yeah.
It's not that big a deal. By the way, somebody sent me the Service Academy Path to the Pros kind of information, right? Because we're talking about Rayon Lane was the first person who benefited from the new setup that they've got with the Navy. Talked about Landon Robinson, the defensive tackle, and so presumably he would be given one of these waivers. There's a limited amount that they'll give out to each service academy each year, but how many guys are really pro-ready at those service academies? So Ray Lane knew that, and the Jags knew if they drafted him, they'd get the opportunity to use him, and he is then featured more in a recruiting role, right? Which would make sense. Like, hey, we got a NFL player, service academy guy. He's still serving his country in various ways.
Makes
so
sense. Yeah.
It makes sense that if you're taking Landon Robinson this year, you don't have to worry about him not being available like it was back in the day. You know, 2-year service commitment, and I hope you still have your skills when you come back. All right, that'll put it in the bag for us today. But boy, XL Primetime's got a lot to dig into on this Monday, so let's talk to them.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Josie.
What is happening?
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good. My bracket's not doing very well.
Yeah, I got 2 in the Final Four, but, you know, I'm like middle of the pack. I got no chance to win it. Hayes is putting everybody at arm's length, apparently, and, you know, I'm used to it. I would have loved St. John's beating Duke, don't get me wrong.
Me
They
too.
had a great chance. I tweeted out at halftime, can we just shut down the sports day right now? They're up by 1, and they've matched up very well with Connecticut, too, but, you know.
I picked them. They just did not hit enough of those three-point shots down the stretch when they needed to.
Down the stretch, because they hit a bunch in the first half, and they are not a great shooting team.
Like, you could second guess. I guess we live in the land of second guessing, but you could second guess Patino for not putting Prey back in there in a shooter situation late because of the 3-point shots that he hit in the first half. He was fun to watch, fro and all. But anyway.
So you guys have one of the great NCAA tournament shots of all time.
Yeah.
You've got the ABS system freaking umpires out from coast to coast. You've got Tiger Woods rolling the vehicle again. Not going to be hard to come up with some compelling sports talk, Joey.
We're diving into all of it. And then also our XLP Big Three, top 3 safeties ever drafted by the Jags.
Oh, by the Jags. Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. All right.
We'll get into that a little bit.
I have my thoughts immediately, but I'll keep my mouth shut. Because we do this all the time. We come in, the drill's like, okay, here you go. Here's the top 5. Boom, done. Show's over.
Yeah.
We're like, damn it. All right, so tomorrow, by the way, thank you for reminding me, we're going to do our Tuesday top 5. We're doing top 5 draft picks by the Jags after round 1, historically. So
Okay.
rounds 2 through 7, we all know some of the names that are going to spring right to mind.
Okay,
So
yeah,
that'll
yeah.
be our top 5
All right,
tomorrow.
I'll be thinking about that too.
All right, Joey, have
All
a
right,
great
sounds
show,
good.
man. We'll be listening.
Thank you.
This is just a great day for sports talk
Oh, I
radio.
know, yeah.
I mean, unbelievable weekend that set you up for all of this stuff. Heck, Gary Woodland would be an interesting topic to me by himself, but that would be way down the list on this particular Monday. All right, so tomorrow, Tuesday, top 5. Again, these are best post-round 1 draft picks in Jaguar history. Anybody drafted between the 2nd and the 7th round, yes, that includes Maurice Jones-Drew, and he's going to be on everybody's list. We get it. But we'll do the top 5 in order of the biggest hits the Jags have had.
Yeah, and just to note, that would mean that James Robinson doesn't qualify because he was not drafted.
Correct, Amundo, Tony. And even though, like, Rob Meyer might be the best 7th round pick they ever had, doesn't mean he's
But
one of the.
Is he in the 5?
He's competing against all the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th rounders as well. So we'll have fun with that. Tomorrow, some more draft as the week rolls on, because that's kind of the season we're in right now when it comes to the Jacksonville Jaguars and the NFL. For Tony Smith and RJ Saunders, I'm Mike Dempsey. Have a great afternoon. We'll talk to you in 22 hours right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.